What's up, you guys? It's Susie from HeyGrillHey.com, and I hope you guys are ready for a little bit of a barbecue project, because today we are starting a cure for homemade smoked bacon. Let's do it. All right, you guys, homemade bacon is a super fun backyard barbecue project. It takes about a week from start to finish, so make sure you plan ahead and follow my instructions, because there are a lot of ways where this can get confusing if you start stepping into curing calculators and dry brines versus wet brines. And it is information when I first started making bacon that I really didn't understand. So my early recipes are not the best, and I had to tweak and perfect this over the years. And I've really got it dialed into a place where homemade is better than store-bought. It's an easy process that I enjoy doing, and I want to take you guys on that journey. So feel good, feel confident, feel capable. You got this, and I'll walk you through. You want to start with the pork belly. This is an uncured, uncut slab of pork belly. It's about 5 pounds, and the skin has been removed. Now, most butchers can source pork belly for you. I've also been finding it at Costco a lot lately. They usually come in 8 to 10 pound slabs. So I buy the 10 pounders, cut them in half, and then I have 2 5-pound slabs, perfect for this curing recipe. And then that gives me the option to play with flavors. I have both a maple cure and a peppered cure on my website. Today we're making the peppered bacon cure because that one is my absolute favorite. And this is considered a dry cure, which means the ratios are a little bit different than doing something like a wet cure or a wet brine. But you know what? Let's get right into the curing, because this is one of the most important parts of making home cured meats, is understanding your curing salts. So there are 3 main types of home cures available for, the backyard or the home cook enthusiast. The first is Tender Quick, and that was how I first wrote my bacon recipes, because that was what was available to me in the grocery store. Tender Quick is a curing salt mixed with table salt and sugar. I've since moved away from using Tender Quick because I can't control the ratios of the salt and sugar in the Tender Quick to the cure. So now I only use this pink curing salt number 1 because I can control the salt and the sugar, and I don't use the Tender Quick anymore. So speaking of curing salt number 1, this is what this is. It's also called Prog powder, Prog salt, pink salt. And this is curing salt number 1. This is designed for cures that are designed to be cured and eaten in less than 30 days. There's also Prog powder or Prog salt cure number 2, and that is more designed for long-term charcuterie, stuff that's meant to be salted and dried over a long period of time and eaten after 30 days. It's an aged cure. So pink salt number 1, and there are a million calculators online for navigating the exact amount of pink salt that you will need for the amount of pork belly that you have. I have a 5-pound slab of pork belly, and for 5 pounds of pork belly, I know I need about 5.7 grams of pink salt. I do recommend using and getting a little kitchen scale for measuring out your curing salts, because this is a little bit of a science and you don't want to, guess on the math. I will say it is approximately 1¼ teaspoons, but again, bust out your kitchen scale, weigh this if you can.
Not pink Himalayan salt.
Yes. Oh, so that's a really good point, Todd from behind the camera. Pink curing salt is not the same as pink Himalayan salt. Pink Himalayan salt is just a type of rock salt that's ground up and has a pink color because of minerals in it. Pink curing salt has a color added to it so that you can't accidentally mix this up with table salt on your counter. Because the ratios are important, you don't want to accidentally use curing salt on your eggs in the morning, which is why it has the lovely pink color. So now that we have the curing salt ratios down, it's time to add in the other ingredients that are gonna make our bacon taste like bacon. And like I said, I'm doing my peppered bacon recipe today, but once you've done a couple batches, you can start to experiment and play with different flavor profiles. I know people like to use jalapenos or chipotle powders. You really can build some really poppin' bacon flavors at home that you absolutely could not buy in the store. To our pink curing salt, we're going to be adding in 5 tablespoons of coarse kosher salt, 5 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon of coarse black pepper, 3 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon of maple syrup, and 1.5 teaspoons of crushed red pepper flakes. Just gonna mix that all together with a spoon. By the time it's all mixed, it should be pretty crumbly, almost like a crumbly paste consistency. We do not want to lose any of this cure because remember, we exactly measured the amount of curing salt that we put in there. We don't want to risk losing any of it, so I'm going to transfer my pork belly to my curing bag. I'm going to be doing this in just a large Food Saver bag, but for years before I got a Food Saver, I just did this in a gallon zip top bag, and a 4 to 5 pound piece fits really nicely. And now that my belly is in the bag, I can work on distributing this cure around all sides of the pork belly, using the outside to massage and using my hand on the inside to make sure it's rubbed in on all sides. I got as much as I could in there and rubbed it around as many sides of the belly as I could, as evenly as I could, but this does not have to be perfectly distributed all the way across your pork belly, because the salt and the sugar in the cure is going to draw some moisture out from the meat itself. And as you flip this every single day during the next 7 days while this cures, that moisture is going to distribute the curing salts and all of the seasonings a little bit more evenly around the pork belly. So just make sure that as you seal this up, get it as good as you can, seal it up, pop it into your refrigerator, like I said, for the next 7 days, and then just give it a massage and a flip every day. I like to set an alarm on my phone at night, so I remember to go up before bed and flip and massage the pork belly, and that will make sure that everything is evenly distributed and that this cures evenly during the next 7 days. I'm gonna go seal mine up, get it into the fridge, and I'll see you guys back here in a week. All right, our bacon has been curing for 7 days. That means it's time for our next step. We're gonna remove our bacon from the refrigerator, take it out of the package that it's been in for the last week, and we're gonna give it a light rinse underwater. You don't need super high pressure here. All we're doing is kind of taking off some of that slimy coating on the exterior. We wanna put our bacon, after it's rinsed, onto a flat rack over a cookie sheet. Then you're gonna pat it dry with a paper towel. Once our bacon is nice and dry, we're going to crack some fresh black pepper on top for this peppered bacon that we're making. And then this entire setup goes back into the refrigerator for another 12 to 24 hours. I usually like to leave mine overnight to develop a sticky coating on the exterior called a pellicle. This really helps to attract the smoke during our next phase, and it's gonna make for better tasting and better looking bacon. Make sure you sanitize your sink after you rinse the bacon. Just some nice sanitizing wipes will clean it up so you don't have to worry about any overspray. Our bacon is out of the refrigerator. It's been sitting there uncovered for the last 24 hours, getting that sticky pellicle on the outside. We're ready to smoke now. And this is a unique smoking process. It's kind of a mix between a cold smoke and a hot smoke. So we don't want it hot enough that the bacon fat renders and melts, but we need it warm enough that the meat cooks through, kills any potential bacteria, and makes this bacon safe for slicing and eating. The way that we're going to be doing that is today on our pellet smoker. I can get my temperatures really low on the pellet smoker, about 160 to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. If you don't have a pellet smoker, this also works on a gas grill. You just turn one burner onto low, make some nice oil pouches with wood chips. You need to keep replacing them every 45 minutes or so, but it's doable on both of those smokers using this method. Again, we're looking for 165 degrees. Pop the bacon, just like this, on this beautiful convenient tray that we've used onto your smoker grates, close the lid, and let it go for about 6 hours. We want to get this bacon to an internal temperature of 155 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's talk about wood selection for our bacon. You can pretty much use any wood choice that you like, but this is one you can get with that traditional like applewood smoked bacon. Have you ever had homemade applewood smoked bacon? It's the bomb. I highly recommend. But you can also play with cherry, you can play with maple, you can play with oak or pecan. The sky is the limit when it comes to making your own flavor choices with the wood you're using on your bacon. That's what makes homemade so much better. Okay, you guys, this is the moment of truth. 7 days in a cure, a day forming the pellicle, a half a day in the smoker, and now it is time to see if all of that effort has yielded the result we were hoping for. I'm just gonna slice it down the middle so we get a beautiful cross section of that pretty pink bacon. My goodness, I'm really happy with how this looks. It's pink all the way through, so I know my cure saturated the entire bacon. The meat itself is pink. This looks perfect. Now comes the fun part, slicing. And hand slicing can be a little bit tedious, but it's super doable if you have a nice sharp knife. Otherwise, I would let this cool completely, and then if you have a meat slicer, give that a whirl. Because I'm a little bit impatient, I'm gonna slice off a few pieces now while it's a little bit warm, fry them up in my cast iron skillet because I want to eat some right now. It's gonna be thick and rustic. Do you like crunchy or chewy bacon?
Oh, like both.
Okay.
Crunchy and chewy.
Well, good, because this one's sliced really unevenly. So you'll have some crunchy pieces and some chewy pieces. Perfect. I think this is another part about homemade bacon that is so special and really nice is we have this slab bacon right here. Perfect for chopping and cubing. Sliced bacon for sandwiches, breakfast, whatever you want. And then I get to eat the cooked stuff. It's a win across the board. Oh, this is gonna burn my mouth. I love this homemade bacon. It's not too salty. It's not too sweet. You get a perfect bite from the pepper and the red pepper flakes that we put on there during the curing process. It has the most amazing texture. I think the cast iron skillet helped a lot with that, but it's got crunchy edges, nice and chewy and soft meat, and you really get the smoke. I mean, really get the smoke. It's absolutely beautiful. I hope you guys are willing to level up your backyard barbecue game and take on this super fun, honestly pretty simple backyard barbecue project with homemade bacon. When you do, tag me in your posts, let me know how it goes for you. More importantly, head to the website, leave a review, leave a comment, let me know how you liked your homemade bacon. I'll see you guys next time.